Alright, welcome back everyone to another episode of Stories from the Unbound Shores. Where we last left off, I believe 2 weeks ago, the party had finished dealing with a chimera that had been fighting with two humanoids, both clad in armor, so kind of hard to tell what they were exactly. And then, upon dealing with that creature, some conversation had ensued. They had decided to part ways in search of a rift that the two they had rescued had mentioned. But after thinking they could use another detail or two, they circled back to find the two they had rescued, raising their fallen comrades as some form of zombies. Which, as they were interrupted, the one who was not doing the casting turned to fight them, not wanting to take any chances. A fight ensued. One of the cultists was, obliterated. The other was knocked out by a combination of gravity and Dirk's hammer. And the undead shambling mound they had been fighting, I believe, is dead. I don't actually quite remember how it was dealt with. And there was some talk about wanting to interrogate the remaining member of the group they had dealt with before.
Hell yeah.
Alright. The knocked out individual is over here at the center of the bubble. Well, below the center of the bubble, I guess.
Eric, do you want to help me bring him over here?
All right.
Wouldn't it be easier to go down to him rather than dragging him up steep hill face?
I think that I would like him to know exactly his circumstances as we discuss.
I'm all right with his discomfort.
Okay.
So you guys will go to move him. I'll take care of moving him.
Where?
Isn't he still unconscious?
Over where I am.
Oh, did I go the other way?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
you went
okay.
the other way.
Oof, it's a little laggy today.
Alright. Tristan, if you do me a favor and just put Eskel where you want the unconscious individual to be placed.
Where are these bodies? Oh, right there. Okay, I want him.
Okay. I'm gonna hide the other two corpses just to make things less confusing. They'll just be hidden, so if you need them back for some reason, I can bring them back.
I mean, my purpose for putting him there was so that he'd be able to see what became.
Well, he'll still be able to see them in the game, but I mean, like, for making sure people know which one is the one they're actually talking to. So, the default rules for someone waking up after being knocked unconscious are it takes 1d4 hours and then you get 1 hit point back, or 1 HP of magical healing. Well, I think even any healing will wake them back up.
Let me check on my reserves. I know that you were kind of flush with lay on hands last I checked, but you used a lot on.
I thought I gave most of mine to Aurelian.
Yes.
But I am pulling up my sheet as well to look at. I have 10 left.
I of my notes. Also 10 left. High five.
We're having 10?
Yeah. 10 brothers.
Before we wake him up, we should perhaps discuss strategy?
Well, you're the one who wanted to speak with him. What did you want to discuss?
Well, I think we should ascertain, first off, how much of what he told us is actually true. Whether there is a rift, what it actually is, why they wanted it.
Going to venture a guess that all of that was a fabrication to put us away from them while they performed their ritual.
Well, it would have potentially been just as easy to let us go on our way, seeing as we had expressed that we were just passing through. But regardless, would it be beneficial to know for sure?
Alright, what's our strategy for ensuring that what he says is true?
Detect thoughts, presumably. I was thinking... I don't know.
Zone of Truth is not castable.
Or it's not.
I ritual cast button.
What are you trying to ritual cast?
Zone of Truth.
Oh.
I don't even have that one prepared.
I get it by default for being a paladin of devotion.
Yeah.
That's one of my extra spells. But I don't even have the spell slots for it. I used up all my second level spells.
Inglorious crit smites.
You know, I think it was worth it.
Oh shit, I don't even have my thing pulled up.
I do have a first level spell left, so I'm not totally dry over here.
You can do like a zone.
Just not of truth.
Just zone. You know, stake out an area. It's there.
Good use of a spell. Well, with 1 HP and being surrounded by the bodies of his comrades, I'm hoping that'll put him in a talkative as opposed to fightative mood.
Perhaps we should tie him up first to ensure that there is no fightative inclinations.
Suppose we could do that. Also put
time.
his weapons away from him.
Remove his boots.
Yeah,
Uncomfortable to run around here.
it's true.
And apparently that is where this started.
What?
Apparently this is where that started. There, that's the proper sentence.
The,
Practice of removing boots when you don't want people running around being a problem, yeah. Hard to run around when you don't have boots on.
I mean, we could just kill him afterwards.
Oh, well.
I mean, I am not against this, but if we're trying to just make sure that he's not trying to run, I think not having boots is a good way to do that.
I'm gonna take his weapon, and if he's got a shield, his shield, and his boots. And I'm gonna put them over here.
Just, clarification. This is not the one who was raising the dead, correct?
Right. That guy got he's
Yeah.
now
I figured
everywhere.
he was
I
the
think
first one.
I think technically, you put the living one on top of the dead one because that was the one corpse that wasn't still here.
Well, I mean, you know, there wasn't a lot left of him. He got crit smite. Oh. His stuff is over there.
What else had I wanted to ask him? I want to find out. We said that he was like invoking Vecna, right?
Yes, the ritual that they were performing was asking for the power of Vecna to give them the ability to raise these corpses as warriors.
Vecna associated with undead, particularly?
Very strongly.
Oh. I just remembered him being the god of secrets. Anyway, we should find out if he has anything to do, if they have anything to do with the issues in the city. In Mistal. If they had anything to do with the Hall of History's destruction.
You said, Derek?
Well, I was thinking about saying something, but I'm trying to keep my interruptions to a minimum unless asked questions, because I butt in too much, even as the DM.
Right, I just wanted to make sure that your wasn't because I had said something in character that my character doesn't know for sure.
No, you're both good. I was thinking
Okay.
about adding something that should be known, but hasn't, but was
It wasn't
not said.
relevant, so I kept my answer short.
Like I said, I'm just trying to keep my I'm trying to at least lower the amount of times I butt in.
Okay,
So please continue.
Well, damn, now I want to know what wasn't relevant. But, you know.
But that's out of character knowledge now.
I know.
So, Hall of
Exactly.
Histories.
We should find out if they had anything to do with the destruction of the tablet there. And thus with our quest.
Seems
and
likely.
Perhaps find out if they do, in fact, know where the drow is. Basically, I just want to repeat the conversation we had earlier, almost. But with this new knowledge, and with him targeted with detect thoughts.
Yes, and with an emphasis on answers being important to him.
Yes.
Very well.
Should we do the you're going to kill me anyway? Yes. Well, how we do so is entirely up to you bit. Or
Look, I think that there's room for discussion of whether this character, this person, will die.
I suppose I'm amenable to that too.
I am not confident that he will meet the criteria, but he should know that he does honestly have a chance. It might make him more willing.
He might not believe anyway that he honestly has a chance.
He might not. But I don't lie.
Well, I know that.
And
he doesn't know that.
Too.
How are you going to prove it?
I looked at Dirk and I said, just letting people know that you're a paladin of devotion, not cover that anymore?
Well, he might not believe that.
Well, that's silly.
It would be in his favor to believe it, but shall we find out?
I suppose. A little else left to do. I've removed his most dangerous equipment, especially the boots.
So, have you removed... So, you've removed weapons. I believe he was bound in some fashion?
I suggested binding.
Dirk? I had to deal with the boots. You can tie him up.
Okay, I tie him up, I suppose. Think I have rope?
Think? You got an adventurer's bag, right?
I mean, probably.
Didn't we have extra rope from somewhere too?
I
think so. Yeah, I got.
I
oh
think,
yeah, I had
Dirk,
I had extra rope because I was carrying other people's rope.
I think you have both Lady Amelie's and Al's rope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Their
and
maybe
Thenon's
gone,
rope.
but their rope still remains.
Like Thenon found a second piece of rope and then gave it to you because he couldn't carry it; it was too heavy for him.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we got rope. I should tie him up.
Just use the weight of the rope to hold him to the ground. Because he's trussed up in 150 feet of hempen rope.
I guess I'll phrase it this way. Do you tie him up just, hands together, or do you, tie into a nearby tree or something as you have ample rope with which to do so?
Rope mummy!
What was that, Aurelian?
I said, tie him to a tree.
With this,
Yeah,
Brian.
I said to tie him to a tree.
All right.
Like
I'll
5
tie him to a
minutes.
tree. He's tied to a tree.
This
Alright.
tree.
It's tied to. I'm gonna have to just put him there because I can't really put him on the tree unless I'm actually going to have him like on top of it.
You could put him next to the tree and stand him up.
But he didn't specify what part of the tree he tied him to.
This is also fair. He could be suspended from the tree for all we know.
That seems unlikely. Why is it doing this? Okay, there we go.
I couldn't tell you.
Use the teleport function.
I was having trouble with movement. I was having trouble with rotating it correctly. Alright. And what of his armor?
What kind of armor is he in?
I believe it's full plate.
At the very least, we should take the helm off. Why is Eskel in the tree?
Probably gauntlets is
I was testing to see how one might position a token against the tree. How much I could make it look like, the character was tied to it.
Well, I'm going to replace this token with one that's not, like, armed and armored. So that I don't forget that he's not armed and armored.
Take his arms!
Oh, goodness.
I'm from the library. Let's go with...
And what are you
Will
doing
do.
with that tree?
I'm trying to do the same thing you were.
I was using teleport.
Well, but I'm doing it just movement.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so...
See, I got pretty damn close to the tree.
Mhm.
Ooh, I bet the other side I could get even closer, maybe.
There. That's about as close as I'm going to get it, and I'm going to call that good. And I need to give that one a torch again. Alright, so... I'm going to replace it with a non-armed humanoid.
I see 2 arms still.
I
You're welcome, Eskel.
am welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Are we ready? I say to everyone.
I'm ready.
What's the ruling with detect thoughts and unconscious people? Can I start with it on him, or do I need to switch from someone else?
You can just activate Detect Thoughts and not be targeting anybody until he wakes up.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, like, it's because it's only a saving throw if you push deeper, right?
Yeah.
That's like the big thing of Detect Thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep. You get surface
Then yeah,
thoughts
you
unless
can
want
just target him.
Well, then I'm casting detect thoughts just before we wake him.
Okay. Everything all set?
If no zone.
I suppose.
So I'm
Okay.
set.
I give him a good, pat on the shoulder. And spend a point.
All right. Mel, sorry, just before he wakes up, you hear elevator music just emanating from his head.
Oh, I don't get to watch scenes from his childhood.
Nope, he's unconscious.
Disappoint. I mean, he could be having like flashbacks, watching his life flash
No.
before his eyes again.
You actually dream when you're
He didn't grow up
unconscious.
on a farm. He grew up in the
mean-
Bronx. Somebody
Well,
else's
actually,
life was flashing before his eyes.
Like, as I recall, the default for Detect Thoughts is you're going after like the surface, like the conscious thoughts.
Yeah, no, I know.
Which is why I like if you delve deeper, you could probably search an unconscious person. but I think with just the default of detect thoughts, they need to be awake.
Alrighty.
Alright, so he'll start to come to. Just kind of looking around a bit, and you'll see him start to try and move, and then he'll notice that he's, tied to a tree.
Oh, is he human? I'm assuming,
Yes.
based on the token you chose.
Yes, he is human.
Not
Good
that we bothered to
evening.
find out anybody else's, but
Was it the fall or that thing? He says, just kind of looking at Dirk's maul.
does it
I will
matter?
like look at it fondly and say it was a bit of a combination.
I think you should have named it instead.
I don't think it matters how you fell unconscious, other than that it was us who did it. And you are now at our mercy. So I recommend answering our questions and doing so truthfully. I will know if you are lying to us again.
We're going to start simple. What's your name?
Eskel. Or was it Dirk? He says, just kind of looking at the group. No, sorry, you'll hear the name Chris go through his head.
What did I just tell you about lying to us?
Not two?
So tell me then why you chose to do it anyway, knowing that your life is entirely in our hands.
What's the difference? Tell you the truth, I'm dead. Tell you a lie, I'm also dead. I don't particularly care.
That doesn't have to be the case, right, Eskel?
I would like to believe that there is a circumstance, condition that you may meet that could allow you to walk away from here alive. My friend isn't so eager for you to meet it, so I suppose if you would prefer to die, you can continue lying, and you'll get to meet the hammer again. But if you answer truthfully, we can at least entertain the idea of letting you go. I would like to point out the bodies of your friend and those he was trying to raise as zombies. You're in no condition to fight us, so...
I was wondering what that stain on my pant leg was.
Did he shit himself?
No, he was brought into the area where most of the combat happened. There was bound to be some blood or whatnot, kind of.
I see.
It's fine. That's why he has brown pants, so it's no worry.
No staining
Why
here.
you both have brown pants too?
Yes. So,
I think you misunderstand. If I tell you the truth, you might let me go. But then anything I've worked for is gone, and I'm as good as dead. If I tell you lies, then you'll almost be guaranteed to kill me. And then I'll at least still have what I worked for.
and has working for Vecna really been paying dividends?
It's not been my favorite, but my interests were more aligned with his than that bird.
Bird?
The Raven Queen.
Ah, I see. Oh, God.
And is it the misleading of the humanoid races that interests you so, or is it simply undeath?
What interests me is that even the fallen have a purpose.
You must have been quite distraught when Nerul disappeared.
That's certainly one word for it.
Care to elaborate?
No, that's kind of part of the tenets.
Cute. I recommend doing it anyway.
I don't.
What's he thinking?
If you could reiterate the question, make sure I'm giving the appropriate thoughts here.
I had asked if he had been quite distraught when Nerul disappeared.
Then at that, Malsari, you would have gotten just you would have seen some scenes from his life, more or less, of just kind of the stress and confusion that he was, you know, that he endured once the change in power had at least started to occur, with things being just with something that he believed never to be possible, the death of a deity, happening, not only being a deity, being his.
There had also been the comment that he had made about his work being all for naught. So I don't know if that triggered any thoughts of his specifically.
You would, it would to a certain extent. So I guess one thing I should say, like, as kind of like, just kind of like a constant thing in his head is him just going over the tenets of Vecna repeatedly, trying to see how close he can dance to the line without quite breaking them. Because he doesn't want to die, but if he loses his allegiance to Vecna, then he's as good as dead. At least that's his thoughts on the matter.
What would he do to you if you betray your cause? I'm just curious to know what as good as dead means to him.
For him, it would be like he would say, it's not what he would do, it's what he wouldn't. And then in his head, you'd see. Well, it might be a little bit hard for you to decipher, but you would see kind of images of what you would presume to be his family, based on resemblance, and that kind of just shattering or fading away.
What he wouldn't do.
Sorry, you notice that Eskel is watching you during the silence between the questions and answers.
she's just contemplating how to proceed. I guess I could just straight up ask him, what do you mean what he wouldn't do? Accept you? Something more?
What do you think happened to those in Nehru's realm when he fell?
Can I roll religion to see if I just already kind of know? Or
Sure.
have a
You
solid
might know
idea?
what he's thinking about happening to them as he asks that question.
That
But
is
also
a good
that.
point.
I can't really think of a way to put this into imagery, so I'll just say it. You see kind of a... Well, actually, I'll have to be a decent way to do it. You'll see kind of the two words appear in his mind, death and undeath, with the two words splitting off and going to different places with large masses of something you can't quite identify following the path.
Large masses of something. Wait, following which path?
Following the names, like following the words death and undeath as they go to respectively Vecna and the Raven Queen.
I see.
I imagine that the souls of those who believe death as a cycle would have remained in the service of the Raven Queen when she assumed Nerul's throne.
That would be my guess.
You are worried about what happened to the others?
When you know a fair number of them, you tend to at least want to have an idea of what happened.
And you count yourself among them. The others.
Yeah. I yet live. My soul could be destined for some other place now.
But
But
that's
those that
exactly
are...
what worries you, isn't it?
No, not where mine is.
You've lost people. You're worried where their souls have gone.
He doesn't say anything, but you would, through thoughts here, yes, I can't stand to be alone. Something along those lines.
Had you ever considered seeking out followers of the Raven Queen for these answers?
I did in the early days.
Wait, how recent was it?
5 years ago.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
And the war between the remnant of Nerul's followers and the new following of the Raven Queen has been raging ever since.
Sorry, I want to be clear. I asked that out of character. She knows.
That's fine.
I've already forgotten where we were. Hang on.
Elysium?
Thank you.
I don't know what you meant by the question.
I forgot where we were in the conversation.
Oh. He
Let's
had
see.
attempted to speak with followers of the Raven Queen near the beginning.
And their answers were unsatisfactory to you?
I don't think he... Yeah.
They'd be inconsistent. At least when I asked, it may have been too soon. not as much as was known about her new station as people would have liked, even those among her own clergy.
Is that why you're out here tonight, looking for answers?
No, I'm out here following orders.
Is there...
And, well, sorry, you'd see orders that more or less, I see scenes that more or less translate to him having orders of find something big, kill it, raise it.
Fun.
And these orders had you looking for this portal?
I can't wait to see what he thinks about this. I was gonna ask the same thing.
What, you still think that's real? But in his mind, well, sorry. You will see that he... What?
No, nothing.
Well, sorry, in his mind, you'll see that that actually was part of his orders for being out here. The kind of a, if you run across this type thing, you know, be on the lookout for. Not so much you're out here to find it, but you'll be covering lots of ground, so if you find it, you know, report back more or less.
So there was absolutely no truth to this black rift.
From your detect thoughts, like, he was at least under the impression that it exists. It may or may not. Especially if he's getting his orders from clerics of Vecna.
Simply hold a hand aloft toward the man and look at Aurelion.
You did what?
Pointing at him and looking at you with basically saying, "See? Lies. There was no portal."
How do I tell Eskel without revealing that I'm in this guy's head?
You knock him back out.
Are you trying not to reveal that you're in his head?
I am.
You've already told him that you'll know if he's lying.
Yeah, but not how.
But that's why surface thoughts are so useful. He can't control them.
I know. I don't know. I just don't want him to know.
Alright, I mean, whatever you want to do. I am over here gloating at Aurelion that I was right that there's no portal.
At this point, your detect thoughts is going to fade, as I've let it run like for an extra couple minutes compared to its 1 minute runtime.
Damn it. I always forget it's only a minute. It should be 10 minutes. Come on.
I really do think it should. We can maybe discuss that at a future point, but for right now, it's still just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, like 4 minutes, but...
Yeah,
Well.
Bing.
I don't know whose souls it is you're trying to locate, protect, or destroy, but if you're going to continue following orders that will put the general populace at risk of death or undeath, it's going to be difficult to argue to my friend that you should be allowed to live. So, is there anything we can do or say would help convince you that there is a path other than that of Vecna to what you want?
I'm just gonna cast Detect Thoughts straight up while he's talking.
Okay. It's just an action, so, you know, it's done.
Oh shit, I need to upcast it. I'm fucking out of 2 level spell slots. Level 2 spell slots.
Me too!
Eric still has one. He could smite.
I'm happy for you.
So, she casts a spell quickly while I'm talking to the guy, distracting him.
I'll say, if you had a way of finding and moving souls on the outer planes, especially one that we don't know where it is, then absolutely.
Well, we were looking to discuss other things with the Raven Queen. We could add that to our list of discussions. I'm kind of like looking to Eskel as I speak, like, this was the plan, right? We're kind of trying to figure out if there's anything we can work out for Atlas and Eleanor.
Eskel just sort of bobs his head, agreeing that this is the path we want.
Oh, sorry, that was just entirely true. There's nothing really to detect on that one.
Yeah. We can't guarantee anything. But if you...
Screw it. I've said too much as it is. What do you want to know?
Well, I mean, what I want to know is who it is that you're concerned for and what it is you wish to do with them, because if it is genuine concern for the safety of a soul, well, I care about that sort of thing too, and we have connections on the Isle of Heaven. Perhaps we can help you out with your Vecna problem.
I'm trying to find what's left of my family, wherever it is they've ended up in all this madness.
They were followers of Nerul before his fall.
Not, clerics or those given power, but enough that since they were related to me, they should have had... Well, they should have at least been pulled to Nerul's plane.
Yes, one need not be a paladin or cleric to end up with the God One revealed. And so you're worried that in shuffling of souls after the change, power structure, that they've wound up somewhere distasteful to you. Awful.
Yes, in the kerfuffle.
To the best of my knowledge, one of three possibilities exist. They're with Vecna, they're with Raven Queen, or they were destroyed in the process.
I don't know that it will improve your mood, but I feel that, I cannot lie, and I should inform you that a fourth, more distasteful potentiality exists. I should check my character knows that.
Alright. What is it your character needs to know?
Let me,
Because I'm not quite sure where you're going with this.
There was something in the way of that die. Okay. Let me, I'm sorry, I have to DM it to you.
Do we need to use the DM closet for this?
Oh, yeah, I suppose we could do that.
Alright, DM closet us then.
Typing. Where are our names? There you are, you. DM closet. So,
Alright.
the last possibility that he didn't mention, aside from destruction and those two other possibilities, is that when the Raven Queen took power, she made a deal with Asmodeus. And that 1/3 of all souls that die go to Asmodeus to fuel his war.
And these would be first on her list if she has to take anyone who's aligned with a deity or someone else.
Yeah, if she can't house them in the Shadowfell because they'll serve her, because they won't serve her, they'd be higher priority to be shunted to Asmodeus. But I don't know if my character knows that, because that's kind of deep religious knowledge. Like, a lot of people don't know that. I did roll a 19 on the die.
You have a chance to know that, just given where you were, trained. But so what? So what'd you get in total for religion?
My total... I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull that up. My total for religion is a 21.
Okay. It is pretty high.
Pretty high, especially for paladins who are not intelligence-based.
Yeah, you're not intelligence-based, and you have the background to, well, at bare minimum, have access, if not have a slightly lower DC than some others. Let's see. Yeah, I think you can roll with it. But as this may come up, I'll also let you know what was the previous thing.
Okay.
Is that since there previously was no guide for any one after death,
Yep.
it would have, like, at least in my world, I don't know if this is how it was in the books or not.
Gotcha.
Only like the particularly devout usually made it to to their desired plane, because the deities had to either come themselves, send someone from their plane, like, to go and fetch them once they died.
Yeah. Nero was hoarding souls,
Yes.
and it's part of why the Raven Queen destroyed him.
Yep. But but anything that just went unclaimed is what went to Asmodeus by default.
Yeah. Okay. We can head back. Alright, so... Yeah. After a grim pause, Askel will say, there exists a possibility. The fourth extreme would be that they didn't go to the Raven Queen or any other god, or were destroyed. They might have gone to Asmodeus.
You'll see his face kind of pale at that.
I don't have all the details on how that works, but I know that what I learned during my upbringing, my training as a paladin, that some souls do not end up with the god they might have chosen in life. Instead, end up hell. I just want you to be prepared for that possibility. Being that they were followers of the god that Raven Queen destroyed, and might not have been able to be swayed to her way of seeing the world, the planes, as she does, that they might have gone that way. This is not a guarantee. I just wanted you aware of all possibilities.
You just see him kind of look down, not really sure what to say.
But what does he think? Or is his mind just like blank?
Like they'd just be surprise, realization, sorrow. Like, you won't really be any thoughts, more just emotions.
Yeah.
Still, I would like to help you, and I would like that would be a reason to discontinue your activities in the name of Vecna that put others at risk.
Once I agreed to talk to you truthfully, any chance of following Vecna, by choice or not, is left.
Even though you have not yet revealed anything to us.
I've told you the truth. That's enough.
Very well.
Even if what I know is nothing, if I reveal that I know nothing, I am a failure in his eyes.
Then, in that case, do you know anything of the destruction of a tablet in the Hall of Histories?
There had been some whispers about it, but nothing. But I was not involved directly or indirectly in it.
That levity.
A little bit. Just the whispered one.
Whispers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the name is rather accurate, as mistrust is a mere necessity for working under him or with any who serve him.
And you do not know that your colleague, I say indicating the body, was involved in that event?
I've been with him for a while, and so unless he is amazingly fast, I doubt he would have been able to do it.
No.
Of course, I don't know, I mean, he could cast spells, perhaps there was some form of teleportation he was capable of. I don't know. If he was, he certainly wouldn't have shared it, as is going to be a running theme.
Indeed.
So, your purpose for being out here, Mara, was simply to build an army of great undead beasts for your master?
To the best of my knowledge, we are out here to try and, yes, bolster the undead ranks, to try and keep the Raven Queen's forces at least at bay, preferably off balance.
That makes sense. The Raven
But
Queen's forces have been invested in Elysium ever since the war. They haven't been able to.
it's been somewhat of a stalemate. We sit at the back, sending every creature we can. Well, I haven't been here as long, but the group at large sits at the back, summoning and creating any kind of undead or faithful servant they can to launch in waves at the Raven Queen's war camp, trying to keep them on the coast, where they'll have well, not try and keep them on the coast. We'd get them off the island, the continent, if we could, but the coasts where they're most defendable. With the water at their backs, it's not much rotting piles of flesh and brittle bones can do. And with the lack of resources here, trying to build our own ships or something to come in from behind is tricky at best.
Does shit, well, how was I gonna have worded that? I guess just, do you know anything about the reports of greater increases in undead coming out of the west?
The west. Yes. That rift thing I mentioned? It would have been the second one we would find if we were to have stumbled across it.
So there's one already in the west.
There's a large one.
Do you have any knowledge on how one might close such a thing?
Not in the slightest. My abilities were always more martial than anything else, and I never quite fully made the switch from follower of Nerul to follower of Vecna. I never had access to any powers granted by him, so I don't know what they might be able to do to sustain it or close it, or what you might be able to.
Had you had power under Nerul?
I had. It's the only way I could be sure that my family would follow as just acolytes or worshippers as opposed to direct
Wait, what?
tools.
Ah,
And I understand the disdain for him in most circumstances. In places like this, where anything and everything is hard to come by, if someone went and died, you'd lose so much. The community would be weaker for it, having less manpower to try and survive whatever attack them next, to work fields, to build. In a
but,
place as harsh as this, you needed something more durable.
but
I,
feel
unlike
of
most, however, at least tried to look for volunteers, as opposed to taking up a graveyard.
you've lived out here most of your life then?
All my life. Never had an opportunity to leave.
So, returning to the service of Vecna isn't possible. And I believe that our resources could help you find the information you're looking for about these people you care about, your family. So, will you give up the ways of Vecna and accept our aid?
Yes. You see him say that with, like, basically no hesitation.
Look, guys, we converted someone today. Anyway,
Even if Vecna was my first choice to begin with, there'd be no point in following him now.
While
there is no
I
path to redemption for his followers.
Not one that's done this much at this point.
Fair. Shit, there was something else I was gonna ask. Oh, was it truthful what you had told us about not knowing anything about Drow in the area? But
One set of scouts had said something about seeing a group or two of them, but no way to know if they're like him.
did they say anything about where they were, what they were doing?
like me, like pretty.
No,
Like, not a
like
follower
not
of Lolth.
that. All I know is they are encountered somewhere along the mountain range, and that they fled once they had been seen by the scouts. There seemed to be some creatures. I don't recall if they even said what they were, but something that appeared to have been slain by the drow. Not humanoid. One of the inhabitants of the area.
Well, that's something to look for. So that's helpful. And regarding this rift in this area, was there any? What was it you were wondering about, Aurelion? If there was any way to tell if we were getting close to it?
Yeah, I wanted to know if it made noise or gave off light or anything that would let you know if you were in the general vicinity.
Wait, there is a portal?
Yes.
I mean, he basically just said there was a portal.
Yeah, but earlier he said there
Asked about
wasn't.
the other. Yes.
I'm disappointed.
Well, he's been truthful since then.
He has, which I'm glad of, but now I feel dumb.
It's okay, Eskel.
Yes, there's one, and no, they are. Unless they're particularly large, they're hard to find. That's why it's more of a general be on the lookout to anyone that's venturing further from whatever camp they're stationed at.
I see. What camp were you stationed at?
Now there's someone asking the money questions. It was to the west of an old dwarven fortress.
Beg pardon. The Forgotten Fortress, or another fortress.
I didn't know its name. I just saw, stone spires sticking out of a mountainside. Uh, you know, looked worn, old mountain, so
Happened to
old
see
dwarven.
scorpions on top of those towers, did you?
Scorpions.
Giant crossbows.
Um, there did seem to be one for each tower.
Very interesting.
Upon seeing that, we kept clear in case it was more inhabited than it looked.
That was probably in your best interest.
They're allied with the undead.
I suppose it's possible. In
There's
which
a
case,
death
it was
knight
in our best interest.
There is a death knight operating in the area. Did your command structure inform you of that?
I had not been informed, but I also am one of the lowest ranking members in the camp. Given my allegiance is verbal, no actual magical abilities to back it up as proof.
Commands any undead. Or did. Banded.
Yes.
Would have made him either a strong ally or a dangerous enemy. Would have figured that the Whispered One, which were his agents, to be successful and not destroyed, would have informed them of that.
Perhaps they already are working together. Considering the destruction of the tablet. Or perhaps that was simply a way of Vecna saying, hey, look, I'm on your side.
No, for sure. Lots of possibilities exist. Very well. We need to make sure that we have all the information we wanted from this very, very helpful gentleman who has a real name that is neither Eskel nor Dirk.
I just look at him. The person waiting.
I imagine you already know it, he says towards, oh, sorry. It's Chris.
I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell them yourself.
think we've had a real effect on Chris today. Now,
Does that mean to get my boots back?
as a matter of fact, it will. But we'll need to make sure that we have the information that we need from Chris, and then we'll need to figure a way to get him to the Isle of Heaven, where he can be best helped. As we are a good long distance from Mount Mistal and from the camp at the southern end. The war camp
You're
of the Raven
kinda-
Queen.
Yeah, you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere at the moment.
Indeed. Where did you say this portal thing went, Chris?
Well, we don't know exactly where it went. It's more of a recent development.
I mean, where do you think it goes to? Not like where this end of it disappeared to.
Oh, like I was saying, that we don't know yet. It's all I know is that it seemed to be brimming with negative energy. Every once in a while, something would come stumbling out.
Usually undead.
Wouldn't that be positive?
Well, if it wasn't, it would be shortly after.
What would be
Wait,
possible?
what?
Sorry?
No, I muttered to myself, wouldn't that be positive energy? But I kind of shook my head out and what do you mean they would be undead shortly?
If they weren't, they'd be killed and resurrected.
Ah, I see.
Why bother going out and finding something to raise when something comes stumbling in your back door?
But you said they were mostly undead. What was coming through alive?
I'm not sure what they were. Some humanoid, humans, elves, dwarves, people.
So you've seen this thing, this portal.
I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but given it's seemed to be one of our more useful things, word about it gets around, as it's more or less a form of hope that what's left of Nero's forces won't be stomped out.
Negative energy and ready-made undead. And there's more than one of these portals.
I know there's one, and we've been told to keep an eye out for a second, but that does not necessarily mean it exists.
That does explain why we had heard that there was a higher concentration of undead further west, if they were coming from one of these portals. Explain how the people ended up there in the first place. Oh, this is very dangerous.
Oh, alright. Yeah. Well, upon double-checking one fact on my other screen here, I need to make a slight addendum to what he said was coming out of the portal. Well, not addendum, addition. There were also these wyvern or dragon-like creatures. Big wings, reptilian face and tail.
Dragon-like.
Dragon-like, but not like any dragon I'd seen. Dark and brimming with smoke.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
We haven't heard of any of those being used yet, have we? I asked, turning to Eskel.
I had not heard of any of these.
We saw one.
Yes, we did see a shadowy wyvern, didn't we?
Oh. I suppose so. We're all talking about the same thing, right? The thing that dropped
I assume
us
so.
into a pit.
That's what I'm talking about. Be interesting if we were all thinking of different shadow dragons, though.
It would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Alright, well then, how do we propose proceeding? Such that Chris remains safe, we remain on target.
Look,
I think
I
those are
can't
the main
help
things.
saving lives. It's what I agreed to do for Bahamut.
I wasn't protesting that. I'm just trying to figure out logistics.
Well, I don't want to foist him off anywhere. We've promised to help him, so I want to do that. I also don't want to drag him with us through dangerous areas. However, he's at no shortage of ability to fight.
I should be able to fend for myself,
Aside from...
provided I'm not by myself.
Oh, fend. I thought he said think. Like, nobody's taking away your ability to think.
Yes, in fact, I rather prefer you not be lost of your ability to think.
Even if you don't trust me with a weapon, if you give me some armor, I could act as bait.
I don't think that will be necessary. I'm sorry there won't be an execution, Dirk, but would you mind letting him loose?
He's provided useful information. I begin, untying him.
You sound so disappointed. Poor Dirk.
I go and...
Dirk didn't get to kill anyone today.
He was involved in some killings.
It's true.
Yeah, I was present for some killings.
Who delivered the final blow to the Chimera? Was that
That
not
wasn't
Dirk?
me. I wasn't
Aurelion?
caught up there at that point.
I think it was either Aurelion. It was either Aurelion or the Shambling Mound.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Shambling Mound was on our side for that.
Well, air
I
quotes.
mean, it was against the Chimera. I wouldn't say it was on our side.
Close enough.
True. Well, there is a slight difference because it did try to eat Eskel when he, hugged it.
Okay, yeah, well.
Climbed it and was awesome. That's what I did.
So we have agreed that we are arming him and all traveling together.
Are you up for it, Chris? I say, holding out, the pile of his stuff that I took from him, the weapon, the boots, weapons.
It's certainly safer than trying to travel anywhere alone. Tried that once. Nearly died. Not a fan.
Yeah. It is unfortunate.
Just remember that if you try anything untoward while we're helping you, Dirk will be very happy to kill you.
I will keep that in mind.
Just pat the hammer.
Given how I went last time, I expect you are more than capable.
Thank you for talking with us. We will do our best to help you find what you want, provided you stay on this path. I
have a lot more incentive to stay than I do to leave. So if you can't trust me, hopefully you can trust that.
I do. The rest of you? Wait with this.
It seems the most sensible option.
I'm just kind of looking at Aurelion because I feel like I've already expressed my acceptance of the situation.
Maggie for
Legit. There's a knight in front of me. That was mildly terrifying.
Dressed quickly.
What?
You got dressed quickly.
Aurelion.
We're accepting of this plan?
Yep.
Well then, why don't we do what we came here to do? Was try and locate the unaffiliated drow and keep our eyes open for this portal of negative energy.
I think first we should burn those bodies.
I think that's good.
That is probably the way to go.
That would be best.
We burn the bodies.
Sleep
Been too long.
in the bodies. Has it though? I do not want to be directly next to a pile of burning dead bodies.
It's gonna smell great.
It's not really the entire issue.
Uh,
Can I prestidigitation the air so that it smells like strawberries?
I mean, maybe the mixing of the burning chimera with the burning people will like actually give it a nice smell.
Okay.
I think the body was deleted because it would be here.
Okay. Can it be burned?
Parts of it? The other parts are red dragon? So you can burn most of it.
I suppose anything that doesn't burn can be crushed.
I mean, at that point, it's also just
smoosh.
a limb, as opposed to a body.
Oh my god. I could have instantaneously snuffed out small campfires with prestidigitation. How did I not know that?
It is the catch-all. I need to do a minor thing that seems wizardy. Boom.
That's why.
So you walk into a room, snap, and all the candles are lit.
All the fucking times I've
actually,
been ray of frosting shit.
So,
Oh my
you
god.
just throw some fires on those.
Right, I think the candle thing is explicitly thaumaturgy, so like you would need to,
Well, you can brighten
cast
or
it a bunch
dim
of
all
times.
the candles with thaumaturgy, or you can light or snuff one candle with
Yes.
Yeah.
prestidigitation.
But you can do that over and over and over again at an action, so...
But thaumaturgy also lets you change the color of all the candle flames so that you can be awesome.
Make them all
Status down. That's not gonna cause a difference with something like that.
purple.
I do make them all.
Is it because you're purple?
Alright, so we have a burning undead shambler, a couple burning bodies, and a burning chimera. Well, most of it, like the torso and arms and legs and two of the heads. The wings and tail and one of the heads, not so much.
Remember when the Shambling Mound beat up one of the zombies for us?
It was good.
That's
Good stuff.
wonderful.
Those things do rather lack intelligence, especially once there's no control.
Oh yeah! Like I said, it's either going to chase me and get killed, or it's not going to chase me and it's going to attack the next closest thing, which is a zombie. Either way, I win.
Got your piles of smoldering death.
Yep. We make sure that those burn down to ashes and go out.
All right. For some of those larger things, especially for dealing with the Chimera, if you're wanting to like take care of the red dragon bits, it'll probably take about a little over an hour. So short rest can be taken if you like, because most of that's just keeping an eye, making sure you don't catch the forest on fire.
Paladins get arcane recovery now, don't we?
If you want to use up, basically, so you can use up your channel divinity to get back one spell slot.
What else
But
can I channel divinity? I don't think
well, you get the channel divinity back on a short rest, so if you haven't used it, you can use it.
I can't remember if I used Arcane Recovery earlier. I don't think I did.
I don't think so, because I think this should be like the first fights of the day, so you should be able to recover.
Oh, I also get back my first level spell just from using Detect Thoughts, which is nice.
Wait, don't you get back a second because you upcast it?
Oh, you're right, I do. I might have all my second level spell slots back after this.
I'm not entirely sure how that works, but that sounds like it makes sense to me.
I think that is... Hang on, I'll double check, but I think that is how that works.
I regain a second level spell slot.
Me too.
And then I can spend the short rest getting my channel divinity back.
Yep, along with hit dice if you guys wish.
I am unharmed.
Look at you.
You took so long getting there the first time.
It's true. You know, the best way to win a fight is to be the last one to show up.
Arguable. It says when you cast a divination spell of second level or higher using a spell slot, so that makes it sound like...
If you're upcasting, you're casting that spell of that, like you're casting a third level Detect Thoughts.
It counts as being a third level spell?
I mean, it does for any other purpose, for any other thing in the game, so I don't see why it wouldn't in this case.
Okay, sounds good.
Because, like, it still counts as being countered if it's, like, for, like, counter spell or Dispel Magic, it still counts as third level, so
True.
I don't see why it wouldn't here.
Okay, well, in that case...
Wow. I had to use 3 hit dice to get back to full, and I was only missing 12 HP.
Oh,
okay, half of that rounded up, so 4.
You were adding in your con to the rolls, right?
I was. It was 3d10 plus 6 to get 14 points.
Nice.
I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 5.
I could get all my second level spell slots back, or my third level spell slot that I used.
Decisions.
Third level lets me use more counter spells.
And sending.
Being able to use counter spells. What?
Is it in sending?
I don't have sending.
Oh.
I have tongues.
It's almost like sending.
Minus the, telepathic element.
And the range. Mostly the range.
That too, I suppose.
Go for a range of however far away something can hear you to literally infinite.
Decisions. If only I was level 9 or 10.
It's still in a while.
I know.
What do you get at 9 that you're wanting?
I mean, I just meant that I could have gotten back a third and a second,
Oh, yeah.
and that would make me feel better than getting both seconds or my 1/3 back.
Do you not have a verse to get back?
I got it back by casting Detect Thoughts the first time.
Oh.
It's so beautiful. I love it so much. Anyway. I think since I have at least 1 second level spell remaining, I'm going to just take the third back. Anyway, carrying on. Because Counterspell is good.
It is a wonderful spell.
My Abjuration Wizard hasn't had a lot of chances to use it because the monsters that I've been fighting in that campaign don't cast spells.
Unfortunate.
But when you do get to use it, and you're just like, ah, yes, I countered a 30th level spell. So I think I succeeded.
Alright. So has short rest stuff been taken care of?
I think so.
Alright, then I can...
Yes, on my end. Since you have a while to take care of what was left of the chimera, like the parts that wouldn't burn, I'll say it wasn't too strenuous as long as you just kind of kept working at it for the hour or so. So I will just say we are done with the short rest and burning of bodies.
We
Burn
the bodies. We burn the bodies.
Okay, now can I... Nope. You go right back there, sir.
We didn't
So
need
difficult
that.
when I want to just grab the fire and not the different things around it.
Plant.
I mean, arguably, you could say that the plant burned up in the
Yep,
fire.
plant's gone. I don't care.
That's fine.
At first I looked over and I was like, why did we set that tree on fire? Then I realized it was a shambling mound.
Yeah. He's also under a tree, though, so...
Whoop, bye tree.
Oh, there goes the tree. It burned, too.
Oh, I accidentally turned in my cut box. That's why I didn't see the tree. That happens. Alright. No more you. No more you.
Alexei, no more Vitali, no more
No more. That
that
guy.
guy.
What? What's that from?
This.
Ah.
Okay. So, now that that's taken care of, where are you guys head? Like, what's the plan? Yeah, do with that. What's the plan?
We're just heading westward along the mountains, right? Looking for drow and hints of said beasties they had felled.
Or hints of undeath or negative energy.
And that.
Okay. Okay. Let me double check my maps real quick and make sure I have the one I think I have.
Oh, I think during that short rest, Dirk will attune the map.
Thank you!
I had forgotten that was the thing I needed to do. So.
Oh.
Dirk over here making friends.
Unknown realm. What's this? That is something.
Something.
That's something someone else made, and thus I don't remember who made it.
I'm not going to use it since I can't
I
credit
won't
animate it.
use
What?
something that someone made once in this program too.
Okay.
1 second. Let me, so, yeah, okay, get back to over here. So you guys start heading west, and you'll be able to travel for a while. Although not long after you start traveling, uh, Chris, it will be asking how much longer it is till it's time to bed down for the evening.
Oh,
I was tempted to ask,
what about
and
that?
then I didn't
Just
because I
look
didn't
at
want
him
to.
like evening. We sleep after the sun rises.
I sort of assumed that would be the case for you, considering you're out here this late to begin with.
Sometimes you end up getting caught out in the evening when you don't wish to be. Um, well, I see this is going to be a very, very long night.
You'll adjust fast.
That would be the hope.
Good luck with those con checks. You get a +3 on them.
Alright, let's see what it gets. Okay, so he barely squeaked by on the first one.
Yeah, that's all that's needed, you know?
It's gonna be great, but the next one's even harder.
But he managed to actually beast the second and third.
Nice.
Found a
It's
second
almost like traveling with two paladins. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for your
That's a
bonus, though,
word
he would
for
have
it.
absolutely failed the first one.
one. Yeah.
He got a 5 on die. So,
It's true.
can
We
I
and
get
excellent role
some-
models.
So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do multiple things at once, and it's causing my memory to stop working. So you're just heading west for what reason? I'm sorry.
We are still seeking out the unaffiliated drow, but we are keeping our senses open for this negative energy. So, I don't know,
Alright.
this is
Let's-
because it's undead, we should also be able to use divine sense at intervals to see if we detect anything.
Yep, that could be possible. Can I get some perception checks and ideas about how often it is you use divine sense between the two of you?
Well, I think each of us got 3 of them. So, we won't be able to use it a lot.
I have 4.
Oh.
For shits and giggles,
Oh, is
I'll
it based on
periodically
charisma?
cast Detect Magic.
Yeah.
Alright, are you ritually casting that, Mel, sorry, or just
Only
casting
way I
cast?
can cast it
Only way you can
permanently.
cast it.
permanently.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's charisma +1 times.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to need to abandon the this board for just a second.
Oh, and we have disadvantage on the perception check, right?
Oh,
I imagine there isn't.
I entirely forgot a
sound
few things there.
components.
I'm glad you said that. Otherwise, I would have entirely lost a very incredibly important thing there.
Heh.
Don't gloss over incredibly important things.
As you are getting ready to burn the bodies, so a little bit step back in time here. Chris will actually point out some particularly useful items on the bodies themselves.
Oh my god, I feel like an idiot. We loot the bodies.
I wasn't about to loot dead necromancers without somebody giving me a good reason to.
Alright, so let me pull up the items I made so I can make sure I'm giving you the right ones here.
Dead necromancers.
So, and if you're willing to take his word for it, you don't need to identify them, because he knows what they do.
I'm gonna at least, I think, cast Detect Magic, so I can see if it makes sense with the thing, but I think other than that, I'll take his word for it. I'm not gonna identify each individual item. That takes too damn long right now.
Let's see, my creations. So that's going to be a much easier way to find it.
What about decks of notes? This is to Tristan, who's okay. Also about decks. That makes sense.
Okay, so then to you, Malsari, there would be a helmet with transmutation on it. There, where's the other things? There would be a robe in one bag with several like patches like sewn into it,
Ooh, I know what that one is.
which I believe would be conjuration.
Makes sense to me.
Let's see. And I think there was one other thing. Nope, there was only one other thing in theory. I never actually made it.
Womp.
So I'll have to either spitball that one off the cup. I'll get to that in a second. So he'll tell you that the helmet is the helm of the Midnight Sentinel. He says whoever wears it doesn't need to sleep, and it helps them to see in dark, as the rest of you do.
Is it like regular dark vision, or is it like special dark vision?
I never wore it, so because you're not getting this from Identify, you're getting this from him. So I'm not entirely sure. I think there was some cross between the two. From what I understood, its range was a little shorter, but it was a little stronger somehow. I'm not quite sure what that was.
Well, it seems oddly specific to exactly what we need in this situation, Chris. Why don't you put that on?
I was about to suggest that too. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dirk. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, like somebody needed to say it.
Well, I mean, you could call it oddly specific, but if we were given it for this type of reason.
We did want Dirk to be able to sleep less.
I think for now it's probably in better use by Chris.
All right, so he'll take the helm. And then he said, then he'll say, and then that one has a weird robe in her bag. That, as far as I'm aware, does not require attunement. You should be able to just pull one of its like patches off of it, and then it will create the item that it depicts.
Well, no, that sounds useful.
Odd that she wasn't wearing it.
Well, wearing it draws attention as it is incredibly odd looking. And since you don't need to, might as well just store it in a bag and pull off patches as needed.
I'm looking at the looking the robes over, and I think you do need to wear it. You just don't need to tune in. So you put it on, pull a patch off, you use the thing, and put the robe away again.
That's the default one. I have a slightly different one, especially since a lot of its patches are up to chance. I need to make one regardless.
Robe of useful items, that's what it's actually called.
No, sorry, you should be looking for Pyra's robes of useful items.
Is it on my spell sheet?
I haven't added it to your sheet. I can if you like, but I was.
I see. It's a. Okay, hang on.
Item list, item management.
And then there should be one more, but I forgot to make it. So, since I don't know where I put my magic item notes, I'm gonna have that just be in limbo for right now.
And this is the most powerful thing of all. It does things with stuff.
I'm familiar with such an item. Certain I've come across its like.
Okay, I can't find it. It's fine. I'm like looking it over and being like,
I found it. I did make it. I was wrong.
Haha.
Haha.
And that is, as far as I'm aware, just a well, not just. Well, it's not that high magic, but is a. Did I say +1 or +2? Let me double check the plus on this thing. Yep. Is just a +2. +2 rapier.
I need to run to go and give my cat Hanson, so I will be back.
How dare. Wait, what was the item again?
Pyra, Pyra.
Well, that anyway. I meant the one that Derek didn't think he added, but he did add somewhere.
It's just a +2 rapier.
Haha.
Not just, but just by comparison.
I'm like, wait a minute. I am a rapier user, and Relion is a rapier user.
So who gets it? Fight to the death.
Must fight each other for it. Alright, Aurelion.
Mm-hmm.
How shall we settle this?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. How are we gonna play rock, paper, scissors?
You make the hand slappy noises, and then I tell you what I did, and then you tell me what you did.
Or how about you both just PM me what you pick, and that way I can be the mediator.
I can't believe you guys are actually doling out magic items based on rock, paper, scissors.
Well, when it's a weapon that they both use, it makes some amount of sense.
Yeah.
Alright. I have Tristan's. Thomas? Alright. Thomas picked scissors, Tristan picked paper. Thomas wins.
Alright, he gets the rapier.
Clap, 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 clap.
Oh, the amount of, like, thinking and double thinking and, like, well, he thinks I'll pick rock, but then if he thinks he'll pick rock, then he might pick scissors because he thinks I'll think he'll pick rock, so he'll pick paper. It's like,
But you didn't know that I'd know that you knew that I knew.
yeah, awful lot, awful lot of that going on.
I haven't even gotten started.
I want to watch Princess Bride now.
Have you ever read the book?
I haven't. I should.
I didn't even know there was a book.
It is, book is good.
Which I realize in hindsight it's a stupid thing to say based on the fact the movie is him reading a book, but I thought the book was just part of the movie, like not like an actual book.
The book
Well,
flows like the movie.
the interesting thing is, uh, the kind of narrative framework of the book is that it's an old book that this guy, his grandfather used to read it to him when he was sick as a child, and he was saying like how he eventually decided, like, he remembered and he decided he wanted to go and have a look for it. And he said when he found it and he started to read it, he realized that there was an awful lot of like references to like politics, like really dry, in-depth politics and stuff like that in the book that his grandfather skipped over. So like it kind of similar things with the movie in that regard, but it's like the thing is, it's not an old book. This is just the narrative framework of the novel that he's made up. Is that he is excising all of the dull, boring bits and just giving you the action bits, the really relevant, interesting bits to the story. It is a good book. It's been a while since I've read it.
Alright. I have added the rapier to your sheet early on. You just need to refresh and it'll be there.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm glad Dirk mentioned that because I completely forgot about that. I was all prepared for it last week because I had made the items like, I had finished making them in D&D Beyond that day. Apparently not. Well, I guess, yeah, never mind. And so I just kind of forgot because it's been 2 weeks.
Weeks?
All right. What?
2 weeks?
Yeah, because last week didn't play, but we did play the week before. That's
Yes. You were busy last.
indeed.
It was very sad. I have Ben Barnes' song stuck in my head. It's a good song. I will also be right back though.
Okay. Well, I'm setting up the next board. That I have now snatched from someplace else, but at least now I have an author to whom I can give credit.
Like for real, it's a good song. and it's stuck in my head.
I didn't hear the title of the song.
It's called 1111. It's the song that's been released off of Ben Barnes' EP so far.
Oh.
I told you, I'm a little obsessed right now.
Okay, I've got an earworm myself. Playing in my head right now.
I'm afraid to ask.
Why? Because then you'll have an earworm.
Probably. I mean, I've already got an earworm, but
Yeah, you've already got your own earworm.
I'm concerned that if I get yours, it'll be a significant downgrade.
Wow.
But I don't know what you've got.
That
I'm sorry.
hurt.
I had wheels on the bus the other day, alright? I'm setting the bar extremely low here in terms of... Wait, hang on. That doesn't say what I want it to say. All I'm saying is, any earworm
Uh-huh.
has the chance to be significantly terrible.
Uh-huh.
And I've got a halfway decent earworm in my head right now, so
I see.
if there's any chance that it's terrible, and there is a chance that it's terrible, it could also be, the fat rat something. I had Hiding in the Blue stuck in my head for like the last week, and that would be cool. I like that song. Or it could be something like the fucking Wheels on the Bus, or the Venga Bus song. Which
Wait, you
is,
don't like Venga Boys now? Now
it's a good
Venga
enough
Boys is a
song.
downgrade?
Oh my god. It's a good enough song, but oh dear god, it is way too catchy, and it will not leave my head for the next 2 weeks. So...
I'm still trying to figure out how Wheels on the Bus got stuck in your head, because I've... Even when you talked about it, I never felt it creeping.
Okay, so part of it's definitely got to do with the fact that I heard it frequently enough, while I was home.
I was gonna say, this has to be your niece.
Part of it's definitely that, but it just randomly popped in my head. I was doing laundry, and I'm like, I can't even remember. It was different words set to the Wheels on the Bus, like the laundry and the dryer goes. I don't fucking know. Or
You know that show, was it Little Einsteins?
I am aware of it.
Yeah, I remember having that bloody theme song stuck in my head for a while.
Thank God I'm not that aware of it.
Alright, I assume Sam is still dealing with Cat.
Usually takes 10.
Apologies for the dead air, but I'm using this time to spruce up the upcoming map.
That's fine. Good use of them.
We just sitting here riffing anyway.
And I should make sure I have the name of the author pulled up as well. This is not an original creation of mine, but I am editing it to fit my purposes.
Reading a thread, somebody wrote about a DM who was giving out roleplay experience, but was adjusting it by player according to their opinion of that player's roleplay.
That's bad.
That's
Just
bad. And it'd be like going through this and being like, yes, Kate, you get 200 experience for good roleplay. Yes, Tristan, you get 100 experience because you didn't roleplay as good as Kate.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Roleplay is not a competition.
Yeah, no. Well, while we wait for Sam.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
So much for listening to 1111.
Welcome back, Sam.
Alright, these last little changes made. Well, that's not an important change, so I'll leave that as it is. Now we just need to set the atmosphere settings and we'll be good to go. Atmosphere, where'd it go? There it is. Alright, so, oh, forgot that one thing there. Sorry, one more thing. Yeah, okay. Get this out of my way. Game board. Come back east and west appropriately set up. Right, that's slightly opposite of what I wanted. Okay. Now I just need to get you guys onto the board, and then I can explain.
Whee!
Boop. 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 I need to get Chris, because he's not a unique token. Radio. There he is. That's close enough for me to remember, at least. Okay. Oh, I also need one of those. Okay, and no, I don't need board. I need players. Summon players to this board.
Whee!
Fetch all players to this point.
Light.
We have been yoinked.
Yes.
We have
So-
been traveling through the night.
You'll be getting here, like, it's probably a little lighter than I need it, so I'll darken it in here in a second. But this is as sunlight is starting to try and peek through the mountains and trees.
It must have just been that map. That map must have been really large, because now I'm not getting the same lag I was getting earlier.
Well, the map itself wasn't large, but it was very, thick.
Dense.
Dense. Dense is a better word.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, a tile for, like, every space of the height. So I could have, like, deformed the terrain to a certain extent. So let me try and adjust the daytime settings. That I think will do. So,
I've had time to attune this rapier, right?
you don't attune it. It's just +2.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sam.
So,
Oh no, that was Kate. My bad.
you've been able to travel
Hi.
through most of the night without much incident.
Take the speed.
As
Different colors.
and as it may, as dawn starts trying to rear its ugly head, you know you're getting close to somewhat active river, as you can hear it from a bit of a distance.
Ah, okay. So ignore the water next to us, the river over there.
Yeah, to the west.
Gotcha.
I have tried to reorient north so that west is the direction it should be.
Just meant the river is west.
River means running water. Means healthy water? Question mark?
I mean, a river definitely means running water. That's unquestionably correct. That is the definition of a river.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But potable is the question here.
I mean, running water is more likely to be potable than anything else. Than any other kind of water, so I don't know if it directly means that, but it's certainly your odds are better.
Was one of the descriptions of the Yank that you could actually collect the water in a net?
Huh?
I don't remember.
In the
You can at least stand on it.
Oh god.
Yeah. Fire.
That's some thick water. Alright, so we hear a river.
It's still dark enough that it's not bothering you, Eskel. Well, it wouldn't normally be bothering you, as it
Yeah,
shouldn't bother
because
you.
now
of
I've
course,
got
know
that
it.
bracelet.
And Chris is not, since he has the helmet, is not asking about trying to
Sleep.
sleep because he doesn't need to at the moment.
It's gonna be amazing when it's been like 3 days and we take the helmet off him and he just dies.
Oh, come on. It'd have to be like a week.
We don't know that it works like that necessarily.
Let
my
me
God.
Also don't know
dream.
that it doesn't.
You know the Marvel characters, Cloak and Dagger?
No.
No.
They have like opposing powers. Cloak is very much about darkness, but while his powers are active, he doesn't need to sleep. But if he absorbs enough light from his friend Dagger, he actually reverts to his human form, and it's like then he just passes out for like a couple of days because like the lack of sleep kind of accumulates.
That's how this helmet's gonna work, because I believe that's how it's gonna work. And if I believe hard enough.
Oh my god.
So, Chris will say, there was a decent spot that we could set up camp just past this river. It was a clearing, and it's, next to the water, so if you're needing to refill canteens, this should be a decent place to do it. Well, not canteens. What's the other word?
Water skins.
Water skins.
Water skins. That's it.
So you've been through this area already, Chris?
Yes, we stopped here once. There's not a there's not much of a better crossing for this river. Anywhere else nearby. If you head north, you'll have to try and do a little bit of mountain climbing to get across. And there's just nothing close to the south.
We're not likely to find this portal near here. Because you already checked.
Not the portal, no, but from my understanding, you're looking for other things.
They are. Wouldn't be getting Alright, why don't you show us this camp area, since it is getting close to when we need to sleep, or it is not
Yes.
yet? Okay.
It's getting close. Like, you've got maybe an hour, hour and a half. So, help starting this way. It should be just over here through the trees. There'll be a little bit of a path where most people come to try and cross, if they come this way at all.
Alright. You good with this, Aurelion, or you got, something to...
No, I've... Lead today.
Where you lead, I will follow anywhere.
Oh, thick trees there. If you're having trouble seeing, with the arrow keys, I suggest using the cut box.
Or I can just do... Whoops, too much.
Oh, I passed it.
Oh.
Shit, I got stuck.
Ah, shit, I didn't lock it! Well, Eskel died. Oh, there
Still
he
there.
is. I lost
Sometimes I can
track.
still hear his voice.
I lost track of him under the
Like
trees.
he was here.
Now,
I am.
while I did say it was the best, I didn't say it was perfect. The bridge is old and, well, missing a few planks. The log, not so much, but it's harder to walk on. It's kind of covered in plant life. But just across here, there's a clearing behind those trees. They'll point over at, well, this tree.
Alright, I'm gonna do a quick Divine Sense just to see if there's any... Or are we spent?
Oh, I forgot to do this, like, at all. That's my bad. I got distracted.
Yeah,
Again.
as we were searching for signs of the drow, we would have been using a Divine Sense every few minutes, I would think, or every hour.
Every hour would leave you with one left on one of you. Well, actually, no, you have 4, not 3. So there'd be 2 left, so 1 for each.
And approximately half of this time is spent with Detect Magic up. Because it lasts 10 minutes and it takes 10 minutes to cast.
Fun.
Yep.
I only
also-
spent for my Divine Sense. I only have 3. My Charisma is 1 lower than his.
I know, but, like, you guys spent in total, you spent 5. So if you're alternating,
Oh, okay.
well, depending on which way you're alternating, you would both have 1 left.
Indeed. And we did not ever detect anything over the course of those hours.
You wouldn't have detected anything with the whatchamacallit?
Divine Sense.
Divine Sense, that's it. However, if I can get some either perception or perhaps survival rolls, as you might want to consider this tracking rather than trying to spot.
Yes, I do, actually.
Hey, I'm
Are we all-
better at survival.
Anyone who's trying to find drow.
Yeah.
I crit. That's a 22.
You know, I'm surprised it's not a 19. Oh no, you're the wisdom one. He's the...
Yeah, I'm the wisdom one. No, I'm trained in survival. I'm the int one.
So
He's
you're
the
trained in
wisdom
survival,
one.
but he's... Oh boy.
Yeah, suck it, logic.
Um,
Well, I didn't crit. That's a 9.
is it either or would you prefer survival?
I think I'd prefer survival, but I'll go
Oh.
with either.
It doesn't matter because I botched.
My survival is an 18.
Okay.
She
Yeah,
Got
I'll have
you.
Chris mostly just on the lookout for critters, so he'll be doing perception just for things trying to kill us.
Didn't hurt yourself.
So both Eskel and Dirk, you're able to spot some humanoid tracks. You know they're not like dragonborn because those feet are different. You're dragonborn or tiefling for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And not likely halfling or gnome, as they are not particularly small.
Can we compare Chris's boot to any of them?
You can, if you like.
Make sure that we're not following the tracks of his group. That he'd been through the area.
Yeah, makes sense. So you will compare them, and you don't. His foot seems to be a bit larger than any of the tracks you have spotted. And as these seem as good as any and are somewhat along the way, I imagine you follow them.
Yep.
So as you kind of follow the tracks, you'll eventually come to what seems like the place of a battle of some sort. There's blood in places, but there's nothing. But there's no like corpse anywhere. So, but there are scorch marks. So whatever one either the battle included fire or whatever one burned what was left. But you are able to find. Well, actually, let me back up. So do you take any time to search the area once you find this place, or like examine the tracks a little more closely, see if you can determine anything?
I
want to know what it is.
Good idea.
What was that?
He wants to know what it is, and I said that's a good idea.
Yeah, so this trying to figure out what it is.
Like what, the tracks you're following, or like just find it?
The battle and the tracks.
Okay.
The battle tracks.
Like if there are, footprints or something that aren't humanoid, then that gives us
the ones you've been following to this battle, which are the same set. It's a group of you can also like somewhere between 6, maybe 8 humanoids. As previously said, likely larger than a halfling or gnome, and not dragonborn or tiefling, as those feet are a bit more distinct.
Yes. I just mean if there's anything like around the site of the battle.
When you hear
some indication of what they might have been fighting.
Excuse me. Had a second ago? Where'd it go? You'll see some very large beast-like tracks.
Will I know?
Well, Dirk can, and somebody can point them out to you. You'll see 2 sets of beast-like tracks, but based on the size and depth of the claw marks that it left in some of the trees, presumably from dodge blows or something of the like, it's not likely to be a normal animal, if one at all.
And are those prints coming to the battlefield or going away from the battlefield?
They were going to the battlefield and then stopped. Like you first encounter the beast prints at the battlefield because you're kind of going backwards of these prints, more or less. Well, that wouldn't make sense for what you're trying to do. So never mind. But you find them at the battlefield,
and we don't see them leave the battlefield. It seems like these two forces came together here, and then the beast stopped here and never left.
Correct.
Unless it can fly.
Unless it can fly.
Unless it can fly, yes.
Okay, so...
Whatever it is likely big and has large and sharp claws.
Roars in a very fruity way.
Snatch. I knew it.
Oh,
Well, it's possible that it could be. I assume you're getting at that could be the Chimera from earlier.
So, again...
no, the Chimera is a Chimera.
he's continuing to joke about the Bandersnatch as they did through that whole beginning of that session.
We have a Vorpal Blade now.
I don't... Okay.
I have to poke its head off instead of slashing. In any event, what knowledge might we check to see if our characters know what this...
To know what the creature is.
From its tracks.
From its tracks. I'm going to double check its...
Nature?
The category.
Oh, I see.
It might be nature, or it might be arcana, or religion.
Since you're... It could be, well, yeah, especially since it's through tracks, I'm going to go with nature.
Okay.
And Eskel, if you could roll me some history with advantage, and Dirk, roll me some regular history.
Good thing for advantage.
I got another 20 with a different die.
God.
Just
I got
knows all the
five,
things. I think that's a 21 then.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a 21.
Alright, my nature was a 10. My history with advantage was a 17.
Oh,
So you got 17. What did Dirk get?
I got a 21 on the first thing.
Okay. Melsari, what'd you get for the nature?
Let's switch to
9.
a different die.
9. Okay.
There's the-
So you're having trouble identifying what the creature is,
It was not a 20 this time.
but
It was
in part
17 on
due
die.
to your history, Eskel, you are actually able to identify what it is. It is a what's known as a quaggoth.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Isn't I?
Oh, what now?
Quaggoth. That certainly sounds like an aberration.
It is not an aberration. It's actually a humanoid.
Really?
That is its calculation. It could also possibly go under monstrosity. Kind
Okay.
of walks that line, but it's not an aberration. It's a natural creature from the Underdark, which is why you're familiar with it.
Gotcha.
Rude.
Hence my advantage.
Rude,
Which was
that is
great.
not an aberration. Be specific.
But actually, your advantage on the history is for something else.
Oh.
From examining the tracks that kind of go around the battlefield, you and, well, mostly Dirk, but also you, are able to identify that these are some that they're using, that whatever the smaller, well, not smaller, but the force of the non-Quaggoth is using tactics that are common among Drow scouting parties.
Good to know.
We're finding them.
Interesting that Dirk is so much more knowledgeable about my people's tactics than I am.
I mean, I have fought the Drow for 100 years.
Well, I have fought with the Drow for 16 years and spent the last 3 up here.
Which is why your role would have gotten it regardless, but but his also counts because his is high enough without your background. Because he's, like he's
Clearly,
been
my
fighting
16 years is superior to his 100.
Clearly.
Why I learned Undercommon so that I could, have a better time interpreting what they were doing, what was going on there with them. So I could kill them better.
My apologies for having to do this somewhat retroactively. I didn't mean to. I just kind of forgot to do the rolls and forgot the thing in general.
Mhm.
I am a bad DM today.
Hey, such is life.
So, with that information, is there anything else you'd like to do or try to learn from the area?
Which way they went.
All right, that would actually be further west and a bit north.
I think that's the direction that we want to be heading in then.
So, a camp, then follow the tracks, or press on and see if we can locate them before we sleep.
When in the scheme of everything is this happening now as we're also approaching where the campsite will be?
Well, in the current, these two events are kind of happening at different points in time, so a little difficult to explain. When you found the tracks, that would have been, not long ago, like when you would have found, like, the battle area, that is.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been maybe, an hour or two at most. It's a little difficult to identify how fresh the tracks are, but, you feel like this has to have been recent, as there is still pieces of charred Quaggoth. And it's not been, like, not been dealt with by the, natural entities of the forest. Either eaten or just decayed or what have you.
The area still smells of burning things.
Yeah, I suppose that would be true too. You have a burnt, possibly acrid smell, if I'm remembering that word correctly.
Yep. Acrid is good for burned things. So, I mean, Eskel's gonna argue to press on.
I think that is reasonable.
Yeah, from there, we're following the tracks, so we at least don't do the bit with getting to the river here.
Yep.
Because that's a different direction. Is my understanding of what people are saying?
A bit. Let me add one other thing. As you have, from my understanding, you guys did choose to follow them from the combat area, correct? Let me solidify that first.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Then, as you follow them, you'll notice that they seem to slow in pace a bit. Looks like one might be limping or kind of favoring a leg based on how much weight's on one foot rather than the other, since those were some really good survival checks.
I see trees.
So, it's possible you're catching them, and if they are drow, your evidence would lead you to believe, then it's possible they could be searching for a place to camp, same as you.
We should keep our eye out for, well, keep following the tracks, obviously, but also keep an eye up for any places that would be a safe spot to camp, even if it's free or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially since they came from a battle. They might not want to remain on the ground. Look for a cave. So, we had really good survival checks. We are gaining on them, so Eskel's going to continue pushing people, even if we get up to the time when we usually sleep.
And regardless of your wanting to use the open space on the other side of the river or not, the tracks will lead to this crossing, because it's, like Chris said, pretty much the only good crossing within a few miles.
So, the tracks lead us across the river here?
They lead to it. You won't be able to see the tracks on the other side, because it's, wooden bridge, doesn't really leave footprints.
But what if they went in the mossy log?
I suppose you could try and check it if you wish.
I don't have the dexterity to make that attempt.
But you have the strength to jump.
I do.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering with that shit. I'm misty stepping across the fucking bridge.
How wide is it?
From the end of this, here, I'll just show you from here where I would have to jump from. It's less than 30 feet to get to the other side of the bridge. Or I could also go. That's riskier. Straight across the bridge.
So I'm examining this mossy log for drought tracks.
Alright.
As maintaining balance while helping somebody is easier than jumping over gaps while helping somebody.
Indeed. You will see some tracks, like, hard to call them tracks, more just kind of just disturbances of the natural growths on the log.
Mm-hmm.
But they do lead across to the other side.
Right. Well, I wish to cross utilizing the log because I want to see if there's like any blood left behind if somebody is still actively wounded this time, and I want to know what I need to roll.
All right, 1 second. I need to pull something up.
Oh, sorry. Just like walks onto the bridge, sighs, and poof poof appears over there.
Yep. I get surrounded by mists.
Steams off
And
you
then
in the
I
morning
disappear.
light.
Is the thing I'm looking for.
And then on the other side, I'm going to search again for tracks and such.
Alright, yeah, I guess that'll do.
Oh, yeah. New roll is a 19. I can be helpful now.
Way to go. I just placed a thing. Way to go. 1 second, I need to lower the water level.
We're in a drought now.
A
So
drow.
much for that. Put
shut
up.
Both of you, shut up!
So apparently I placed it in the water, so it decided to stop existing.
Great.
What was it?
A thing.
Uh-huh. Let's make a new one.
I am.
Okay.
I just need to make sure the water won't disappear it again.
Something's
Water wolf.
moving in
I
the
mean,
water.
there's so much...
I'm sorry, does anybody else see this shadow moving in the water?
Is it a shark?
No, it's like really white. It almost looks like it could be a cloud.
Oh.
Like, you know, sometimes you can see the shadows of clouds moving
Yeah,
across the
I
ground.
see that.
It's freaky. I don't like it.
It's coming toward you.
No, it already passed me. Like, I wonder, does this map have clouds that can do that? Is that a thing?
I think the water level isn't quite at 0, so parts of it are higher than the base terrain. And that's what you're seeing.
But it's moving. It's now like
centering.
filling. It's like now filling out the river. It's bizarre. I don't like it.
Tristan, are you seeing this too?
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
wait, no,
watching
it's
it happening.
Downriver.
Yeah, I think that is just the water.
Yeah, the water swirls. And the water's surface is not one constant level. So this is just it coming up above the objects that are at the bottom.
That's weird, and I don't like it.
So
It continues out over the rest of the water, though.
Yeah. You see what it's doing?
The uninhibited water. It seriously, it looks like fucking Well, I mean, I guess it's probably the flow of the river.
Yeah, it's the flow of the water. It's just, this is the patterns that are at a higher level than the rest.
Here it is.
So that the water always has the appearance of flowing.
Which is funny, because once... Oh, no, never mind. It does kind of look like it's moving now, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's moving now that the water is there, but it's slower, but it's still there.
Yeah.
alright, so Eskel was checking for and finding tracks. Melsara, what'd you say you were doing?
I'm trying to relocate the tracks on the other side. And
Okay,
we're looking for anything else helpful in our...
And so how was it that you got there, where you're currently standing?
I misty stepped. I walked from the bridge. I walked to the end. Yeah, to there.
Okay, so then I need to do one thing real
Oh
quick.
fuck! I figured. I was afraid of that. Bridge
You
gonna
hear a
fucking
snap, crackle,
I
and
need-
pop.
I can't actually align you on the middle of that bridge because that bridge is not aligned with
Here,
tiles.
I can.
It is.
So, you're going to
Oh dear.
hear something. Well, you're all going to hear the water start to move as something rises out of it.
Great.
As a head comes eye level with you on a long snake-like body.
Hydra.
Oh dear.
I like the
That's
tentacle.
unsettling.
Tentacle is the best I had.
Is this a very reptilian head?
Yes, it is.
And so then she misty steps?
Yes, you can still misty step if you like, but pretty much when you step there is when this happens. Since you're already in the process of misty stepping, you may continue.
Is it a thing that looks like it wants to converse or immediately start killing me?
Your immediate reaction is that it thinks you look tasty.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'm gonna continue misty stepping. Because I don't want to be in this immediate line of sight anymore.
Oosh.
Alright. Let me make sure I have the
Hang on, I need to make
stats
sure that-
up.
I need to make sure. Okay, yeah, that's about 30 feet. And let me snap to grid again.
Yep, I have the size right. Okay. And so with that, I think if you guys are okay with it, we will roll initiative and call it there, unless you're all wanting to do the combat today. I certainly don't have anything else I need to do.
Got an 18.
I mean, I'm always happy to do combat, but
I think it's more of a jibble question than anything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock.
I didn't minimize.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, fuck, me too.
Oh well, that bounced.
You guys both rolled nat ones. What did Thomas say?
I said it's almost 3 o'clock.
Right, so you want to go to sleep, right?
Oh yeah. That is an 11.
I didn't roll in at one.
Oh.
I got a one.
Oh.
I rolled a 2.
Yay!
I rolled that one and got a 3.
I rolled an 8 and a nat 1.
Oh, that's right, you have advantage because of your danger sense.
Yeah, it didn't really make much of a difference because the 8 was rolled first.
Alright, so... well, I guess I'm going to put it in term-based because I'm just going to write these down on a sticky note anyways. So,
You could just
let's...
put them in the Discord channel. I put mine.
I'm just going to put them on a sticky note.
Okay.
I already have the sticky note open.
But what if you lose the sticky note?
It's a digital sticky note. I don't lose the sticky note.
But what if something happens and the sticky note goes?
Fine, I'll put it in both. Just... Ask what'd you get?
An 18.
Okay. Let me make sure I get your name spelled right.
Unless Chris rolled better, I'm the only one on our team who got into double digits. No, wait, actually... Thomas might have gotten into double digits. That would be an 11 for you, wouldn't it?
Okay, so Dirk, what did you get?
I got a 1, but it was not a natural one.
Wait, yeah, nat 1. Does that automatically go last for initiative?
Yes, it
Are we doing that as the house rule?
When I started this campaign, I was not under the impression it was a house rule, but afterwards, I like it. I'm sticking with it.
Alright, then.
No, sorry, what'd you get?
I got the nat 1. I put it in the Discord too.
No. Oh, sorry.
For a total of 3.
Net 1. What'd you get, Aurelion?
11.
Alright. 11. I don't have his name on my screen.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Alright, and so this thing got one of those. And what's good old Chris get? Of course. He got one less than the Hydra.
How'd the Hydra do?
If you don't want to tell us the Hydra, you can just tell us Chris's number.
Alright. Where's the Discord? There's the Discord. There's the initiative.
NPC man.
I didn't feel like trying to spell Chris, so he's NPC man as far as initiative's concerned.
I didn't realize that Chris was a difficult name to spell.
Spelling anything like spelling any name for me takes significantly more brain power than it should.
Fuck you, Thomas.
Ouch, Jebble. That is unfortunate. Larry spelled my name real stupid the other day to piss me off.
Did it work?
It worked. What the funniest part though was that I was home alone. He was at work at the time.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, delete it now. That this is a hard limit, delete it now. And I'm like, wait a second. I could delete it because he doesn't lock his computer. So I went onto his Discord on his computer here and fixed it.
Violations abound.
It's not a habit. It was a joke thing to do.
Oh,
Not a
terrible.
habit. Totally. I'm the worst. The most terrible.
With that,
Tentacle large. Sorry.
well, unless you guys want to go through one round, or attempt to in 5 minutes, then I believe that is the game for today.
Sad face.
Rivers always have these things in them. There is no river in the world that doesn't. Stop
Well-
trusting rivers.
When it comes to Elysium, you might not be wrong.
This shit is why I have thalassophobia.
There you go.
Have what?
Thalassophobia.
Fear of the sea.
Ah,
You
Sorry.
watched the movie,
Anyway.
Page Master.
Yeah.
I love a page master.
The scene where he's in the rowboat
Yeah.
and suddenly you see Moby Dick underneath him.
Yep. The shadow
Oh.
just pass underneath. Yeah.
Horrifying.
but before I continue with chit chat while we're still live, I forgot to credit the creator of this map. I got this map and then slightly edited it from the Tales Bazaar from the author. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Jolaum, Jolaum.
Shalom.
Yay! Name
Shalom.
we're not totally sure how to pronounce.
Shalom.
Well, I feel like I should at least put it out there because I mean, it's kind of the basics.
XP. Wait, we're on milestones.
Where, yeah.
Milestone.
Not yet. Not today. Sorry.
Maybe after this
The
one.
bridge.
Or maybe
Milestone.
after we find the trail.
Yeah.
Or maybe later.
Landmark.
I don't know.
Landmark.
Managed to walk through the forest
Congratulations,
without
you are at
walking
level
into
7.5.
I always 7. Alright. I'll end the stream now.
Bye,
stream.
stream.
Bye, stream.